My dad lived in the 80s, he did not do the drugs, but sometimes I wish he did the therapy. Just once. Maybe my own issues would be a little bit less extreme if my dad had reflected more and put me into less team sports.
Hey, fun fans, it's another episode of We Enjoy. Thanks for going on this Child's Play journey with us. We're all nearly done. We've got 2 more movies left. Today we're talking about Cult, not Curse, Cult of Chucky in today's main event. And next week will be the Child's Play remake, which I have not seen. So it'll be my first time actually seeing this movie. And from everything I've heard on the Child's Play grapevine, Eric, it is a good cast, bad movie. Bad cast, bad movie. Bad cast, great movie. Okay, what is it, Eric?
I mean, I just want you to watch it and see if you...
just tell me what to think. We are the Mattitude, Eric. I am Matt Fowler. Say hello, Eric Goldman.
Hey, everybody.
Wow, that was really quick and to the point. No sing-songiness, no accent.
I'm just making it direct this time.
I am extremely tired. I was telling you this before we started recording, so I hope my word maker keeps up through this entire... I never aim for it to be a 90-minute podcast, but that's kind of what it lands at usually. Eric, I really want to go to Disneyland. Please make this happen for me.
I would love to make it happen for you. I returned to Disneyland this week. My triumphant return for the first time since February 2020. And if you know me or you follow me on social media, you'll know that I am a frequent Disneyland goer. And so not going this long was crazy, but necessary, given circumstances. It was great to be back. It's 2 days later, Matt, and my feet still hurt. You learn, you're out of practice with everything. And so...
Including feeding?
Yeah, I mean,
including using the feet. Yeah,
using the feet 12 hours straight of walking around in circles at Disneyland.
Yeah, we all need to do some biped prep before we go back to these theme parks.
Well, we're talking about. So I'm going to Universal Orlando in a couple weeks. I don't know if I told you that. For the Velocicoaster.
Yes,
opening.
You did.
Yeah, and that's going to be like a 3-day trip. We extended a little bit. We're going to probably pop over to Disney World, but mostly be at Universal.
Are you bringing extra feet? So you can just unscrew your feet and replace them with...
That would be the great goal.
New feet each day.
In September, we're doing like over a week in Orlando. So we're kind of building our way back up to like hardcore theme parking.
Well, that solves it. You're going to have to learn to skateboard.
Gonna have to learn to skateboard.
Or rollerblade. Let's blade, brah.
Ooh, yeah. Gonna be like airborne. But yeah, it was great to be back to Disneyland. And right now, it's a problem because it's keeping you out, Matt. But the capacity is super low right now, and of course, they are not even letting in non-Californians. So the lines were all. I mean, there's no fast pass. There's like no special system to get in early. But the lines were all super short. Like the lines were
because they're only operating. Yeah, exactly. So less in capacity. And no out-of-staters, no out-of-towners, and like me. But have they taken this into consideration?
Yes.
I really want to go.
I don't know.
Do they know that? Do they know that? I may not be technically a Californian anymore, but I fucking want to go real bad. So
you do want to go very badly. So let me see if I can put that on the radar.
Who do I plead my case to? Do I have to go to Hot Bench? Eric, my mom watches all these court shows during the day, and there's one called Hot Bench that has 3 judges, 3 dueling judges.
Whoa, this is like Star Chamber. Oh.
Yeah, they decide. They do decide who lives and who dies. Yeah,
that's amazing. I don't know who you decide to talk to. I will say it was strange. It kind of messes with your mind right now because even though the wait times are pretty low, relatively they're very low what they can normally be. They all look crazy because the whole thing was they had to figure out how to not have people bunched together and not indoors at all for these lines that had all been designed to like have the back and forth where you're all next to each other. And in the last 20 years had more and more become indoors because it was like, oh, this is nicer for people to not be in the blazing sun. But then for the pandemic, they had to undo all that. So lines look insane. Like Indiana Jones, they're using the Jungle Cruise queue, which isn't open right now. It's being changed over. So it's like, it looks like so, and like Snow White was like going out of Fantasyland, even though it was only about 25 minutes, because they need to put people that not in the normal queue. So it all visually was kind of strange to see everyone kind of winding so far from the rides. But then you don't actually wait that long. You're like,
but you had a grilled cheese sandwich and tomato soup.
Yes, Jolly Holiday.
Did you have Dole Whip?
Of course. I haven't done my big post about all the food and drink I had there. I had my Dole Whip. I had my Jungle Julep. I had my Mint Julep. I had my Blue Milk. I had my corn dog. My Ronto wrap, of course. All the deliciousness.
I think your feet hurt because all the food was going to your feet.
Maybe all the food went to my feet. That's very possible.
Speaking as a scientist, that's where food goes.
I did cut open my feet and shove the food in, so that might have been the problem.
Wait, we're not talking about Spiral this week, Eric.
Okay. Oh, then we should talk about we should do that soon. Not that people seem to care that much based on its box office, but
did it? Considering the fact that I used a free ticket to see it and I was there alone, yeah, it's
Oh, were you literally alone?
I believe so. Yeah,
Oh, okay. All
right. No one was in there as far as I could tell when I went in, but then I wasn't noticing. I was so glued to the big giant screen I hadn't seen in so long that watching the trailers. I don't know if anyone snuck in behind me, but they sure weren't there when I left either.
Okay. So. Was Spiral your first movie back?
No, nobody.
Okay.
It's so also let's see. We can do Spiral, but maybe not in the main event capacity, depending on people's interests. Like I have a lot to say about Spiral.
No, we'll do. I mean, I think we'll just. I don't know. We can do it as a one-off. We can do it as the episode after the next. We'll figure it out. We should do it the next week. Because
it's not going to leave theaters because movies stay in theaters now forever because
there's not enough movies to take them. Yeah, take their place.
I think The Marksman by Liam Neeson is still in theaters from like January.
It was funny. I tweeted about this, but I was like, oh, I can finally. I hadn't seen Tenet this whole time, and I did want to see it on the big screen.
I did. I don't have it here on the big screen.
Well, yeah. So you won't have the opportunities I will have because it literally left the AMC City Walk the week I could go back to movie. The week I was fully vaccinated, it left, so I just missed it. But now it's going to play both at Alamo as one of our reopening movies and at the New Beverly as their reopening movie. No, I'm sorry. I'm a liar. I was mixing it up with Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. It will play at New Beverly, though. It's going to play at New Beverly, and it's going to play at the Arrow.
The Arrow, I saw that was coming back too. So
I will try to see
maybe, our Alamos here open a month after yours. So maybe it'll be part of their welcome.
But I was lying about Tenet being part of Alamo.
But maybe here it will be.
Maybe here it will be.
We have more theaters. We have like 6 here.
That's true.
And you've got the one. Okay, let's dive into some things here because I would just want to talk about things I want to go to but can't all day. In movie, let's get it. So before we get into the movie business streaming stuff that I'm just going to have you explain to me, because I was too lazy to dive into it this week. I saw like a few tweets and like the headlines, but that's it. Let's just talk casting news and some new show news here. They have found an actual Wednesday Addams for the Wednesday Tim Burton series.
Yep.
And it is Jenna Ortega, who is from Yes Day, which I have not seen on Netflix, and You, which I also have not seen, which also is it a Netflix original now, or is it just gotten popular because of Netflix that you
became a Netflix original from season 2?
After season 2. So okay. So it did a Longmire / The Killing type deal. Okay.
Yeah, it was like a very Lucifer, early thing where it moved. Yeah.
But did you know that she was Miguel Ferrer's vice presidential daughter in Iron Man 3, Eric?
I did, because I looked at her IMDb, and so that's where I've seen her. She motivating Miguel Ferrer to betray his country, and spoiler alert for Iron Man 3, and she will be in Scream 5, which means I will definitely see her in that next year.
Which also means I probably interviewed her, because I did a big junket day with everyone from that cast, and so she was probably on one of the interviews I did with like 5 people. They split up the cast into like 3 groups of 5, so she was probably in there.
Yep.
Okay, Scream, which is called Scream, not Five Cream.
I know, but I'm going to call it freaking Scream 5. Unlike Halloween, because Halloween, you couldn't just call Halloween 2018 Halloween 2 because there were already 2 other movies called Halloween 2. But it still sucks that they just called it Halloween when there was 2 other movies called Halloween. But Scream 5, it's just the 5th movie. There's never been a reboot continuity wise. It's Scream 5.
But this one is supposed to be like the way they do.
I get it. It's a legacy sequel. It's going to go on its own direction. It's going to probably like launch off into new characters without and pave the way for the old characters to step aside through death. But it's still in continuity. It is still the 5th film in the franchise. But they're just calling it Scream.
Speaking of part 2s, do you remember when Miguel Ferrer was in Hot Shots Part 2?
Yeah, because he said war, it's fantastic, a great delivery on a great line and a great movie.
And it makes for a great GIF now.
A great GIF, whether you've seen the movie or not. Yes.
Okay, and also we know how well legacy sequels work out because we'll talk about Spiral. Okay, let's see. And then there's also more Netflix news, which is that Arnold Schwarzenegger, it's not TV, it's Netflix, is headed to headline his first ever streaming series. People say TV series, whatever. For Netflix in a spy project where he plays a father who is a spy in the CIA, who has a daughter who is also a spy in the CIA. But Eric, they don't know that they're spies in the CIA. They don't know that. They're lying to each other. He's once again lying about his spycraft.
He is truly lying, except this time he is truly lying to a daughter who's truly lying to him. So it's basically Mr. and Mrs. Smith, except for father-daughter. But that is also reminiscent of True Lies, in which he was in, where only the father was lying. But it's also reminiscent of Alias, in which they were both spies, but the father did know the daughter was a spy, but she didn't know he was a spy.
But also, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, they weren't like spies. They were like assassins.
They were assassins, but still the same. Like, I live with someone. We both pretend we're living normal lives, but we're both doing this crazy stuff on this.
You know who does not live a normal life? Andy Barclay.
No,
he's got as many guns as Mr. and Mrs. Smith combined, Eric.
That's right.
We'll talk about Cult of Chucky in a minute.
Yes. Yeah. He's got as many guns as Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
I really just want to talk about what a fan somehow, I guess, in his spare time, just sitting around with Tiffany in Jennifer Tilly form. He's watching. He's binging Hannibal. So I just want to talk about what a fan Chucky is of Hannibal TV show. Like, like somehow Chucky, as crass as he is, and he's not like overtly clever either. He says like the most low hanging fruit type of joke.
Yeah.
Really loves like art horror and the fine cuisine of
because like the way people are killed. He's like, that would be great. I would love to do that.
He would love to put someone in a horse, I bet.
Yes, he would. By the way, this wasn't on our list of news today, but I thought about our main events of late because David Kirshner's name was in a big press release today, which was the Hocus Pocus 2 press release. Now that it's officially official with the 3 original actresses returning, it's going to film for Disney Plus for next year. But David Kirshner, who produced the first movie, is back as an executive producer on Hocus Pocus 2. So making those Hocus Pocus bucks on top of the Chucky bucks.
Speaking of art horror and like murder tableaus, tell me about the WarnerMedia Discovery Plus merger.
It's okay. I'm gonna just skip all the details of like the money, like the how it works with the stocks. And
Eric, everyone loves money. That's why it's called money.
Money, that's why it's called money. Money plane.
That's from Heist, right? Is that David Mamet's Heist? Yeah,
I think it's from Heist. No, the main takeaway here is that AT&T, this is the big shocker here, is that just 3 years after this massive deal for AT&T to purchase WarnerMedia, AT&T's like, you know what? We don't want WarnerMedia so much. So it's not outright. Again, this is where I'm not going to get into the minutia of the deal because it's a little convoluted for me even. But it's like they're not quote unquote selling WarnerMedia to Discovery, but they are spinning it off. They're basically saying we don't want to run WarnerMedia anymore. And Discovery and WarnerMedia will become one new merged company. But really the main thing here is that Discovery CEO will be the one running this all. So it really is Discovery is taking over WarnerMedia and AT&T is kind of washing their hands of WarnerMedia. So it's super crazy that it's just 3 years after they bought them and they go through the whole process of getting that approved by the government. And it was such a major deal. And then they're just like, nah, We don't want to do it. It turns out
They should reboot the DCEU.
Yes. Well, my favorite thing, and I'm sorry, if you are a fan of Zack Snyder's films in general or his DC films, I do not want to shit on your taste or your love of it. I'm just saying it is funny. I tweeted a few weeks ago that to me on Twitter, the super Snyder fan, the ones that we see on Twitter the most, I did the meme of like, you know, the Poochie, the like, if you know, Snyderverse is not on screen, someone should be talking about Snyderverse, because immediately, of course, when this news was announced, all the replies were like, does this mean the Snyderverse is restored? As if that is Discovery's main goal here is like getting Zack Snyder back on the, and like anything's possible, guys. Like anything's
But nothing
possible,
is real.
But
we say that every week.
But it's certainly not the focus here. And if it happens, it would not be because like this is not the goal of this deal. So yeah, we're gonna have a new major, mega company here. And the other thing I want to talk about is it's just funny to me that I get it. Like if you're listening to this podcast, then you're like Matt and I, not really probably that into Discovery's output, which is you're not like, you know, obsessively watching 90 Day Fiancé or, you know, a lot of the Guy Fieri stuff and whatnot. But what I need to remind everyone is it's tremendously popular. So it's funny when like I saw, you know, like when people were like, oh yeah, you know, it's like this is it'll help WarnerMedia because it gives them all these very successful realities, franchises, and all these things that they don't have. And people are like, that stuff's shit. Why would they want to be involved in that? I'm like, because it's tremendously popular, and it's something that people will watch hundreds of hours of. And I mean, my wife,
I like Triple D.
I like Triple D too. And Trish got me very into recently. We've been watching a lot of Flea Market Flip. That's been like a go-to show for her, and I've been seeing a lot of it. And
what did I recently get into? Oh, so I watch a lot of House Hunters International. You know, these are all on Hulu. But I recently got into, and it's a longer watch because it's not like a 20-minute show like House Hunters. It's Love It or List It. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you've seen that. But Eric, let me tell you very quickly about a show I saw when I visited Scotland. It's a BBC show. It's like a House Hunters type show called Escape to the Country. And let me ask you if you would be as mad as I was about this show, because I got hot. I was very heated about this, and it didn't ruin my trip, but I still think about this like once a week. It's like wealthy olds want to leave the hustle and bustle of the city and find a countryside estate in the English countryside, like a manor. Some of them are historical houses. Some of them are farms with animals, etc. So they're shown 3 properties, like very familiar format, right? And then at the end, when they're thinking about what they've seen and going over the 3 houses, they're like, well, right, looks like we've got a decision to make. Roll credits. They don't tell you which one they chose, Eric. They don't tell you the house that they picked.
Wow, it's all very...
I was so angry.
It's like an art house ending for every episode.
I was like, is there a post-credit sequence? Like, what is going on? Oh, I was outraged. And I guess because of privacy. Who knows why? The English are very English about things. But it's just then it just became looking at houses, which is called Zillow. So I don't know what this show was. And if anyone overseas watches this show, could you please explain it to me? Okay.
But yeah, so I was going to say, Trish's main viewing habit these days is Discovery Plus, which I got a free year as press, but she will definitely be paying for more after that year, because that has been she watches that probably like 80% of the time now.
Flea Market Flip just makes me think of the guy who I believe is returning for No Way Home, the street vendor guy in Homecoming, who's like, do a flip to Spider-Man.
Right. That guy got up at a Spider-Man comic book panel I was at New York Comic Con once.
He did. I think he's back, or at least a multiverse version of him. So.
But yeah, so Discovery, obviously Discovery Plus is their streaming service that launched just a few months ago. Discovery Channel, Food Network, HGTV, TLC, Animal Planet, Travel Channel, Oprah Winfrey Network, these Investigation Discovery, these are all parts of them. Lots of successful franchises, the Property Brothers and Guy Fieri, and yeah, like all.
They both follow me. Both of them brothers.
One of them follows me. I don't know if they both do. But yeah, so it's a lot of very successful stuff that will now be part of the same family. Does this mean Discovery Plus goes away and it all comes under HBO Max? We don't know. Do they become just like a package deal you can get like Hulu, ESPN, and Disney Plus? We don't know. We don't know anything yet, and we also don't know if it'll be approved, and it's going to be a year away from it being finalized. But at the end of the day, it's very interesting to see AT&T get out of this. It is, the hope is, I guess, is that there had been a lot of cynicism about a company like AT&T running WarnerMedia and maybe making decisions that were so cutthroat about like telecommunications and not entertainment based. And maybe this like can only help by getting them away from them. But again, it's all going to be up in the air. Jason Kilar, the CEO of WarnerMedia, is leaving because, like I said, the CEO of Discovery will be the one running this. WarnerMedia has had so many executive changes in the past 3 years that does come up with all the Snyder stuff because they keep changing the people running the company. It's going to happen again. Has this happened? So a lot of disruption there that hopefully can stop after this merger. But yeah, there you go. Another sort of a big merger happening, and then we can talk about the other story that might happen right after, which would be another merger of
properties. Well, we don't know what we don't know.
Right.
So then the next story is Amazon may possibly it's within their capabilities buy MGM, and which means James Bond and RoboCop and Rocky and Vikings and
Bill and Ted. The original Child's Play will be owned by
the
Amazon.
first one and the remake. Yes.
if Amazon, MGM, a classic studio with, we're naming the franchise stuff, but obviously a deep library of classic films, but also they've struggled for decades now. They've really been kept afloat by Bond. Which has used other studios to distribute. They'll make deals. Like they had that Sony deal for several years to distribute Bond films. And now the new one's, I think, Universal. But it's MGM who still like owns the franchise with the Broccoli's and controls it. But yeah, they've been looking for a buyer for a long time. We'll see if this happens.
They've got G.I. Joe too, right? Like,
no, because G.I. Joe is obviously Hasbro owns G.I. Joe, but then Paramount has the overall deal to make Hasbro stuff now. Paramount's making all the G.I. Joe movies.
Yeah, I was going to say, because the Snake Eyes trailer hit last weekend. So,
but yeah, and then I think the MGM logo is on, even though Universal's distributing Candyman, MGM's involved in that. But yeah, we'll see. It would make sense again as far as like Amazon just like giving them like a bigger library and a few franchises. Bond being the big one, but Creed has been a big success too as far as the Rocky stuff goes. So yeah, we'll see. MGM has kind of been something that a lot of people have considered, and it hasn't happened. But it seems we're just getting more and more right into like everyone jokes, but it's true about like a few select companies owning everything. And so if Amazon were to buy MGM,
I for one can't wait for our by and large future where we all just trash the planet and live in space, getting fat off Slurpees. Addams Family is MGM too, no? Is the Wednesday show for Netflix part of it?
No, but Addams Family, I believe the new films are Paramount made the '90s film. So again, Addams Family is independently owned. It's just been licensed out to different
people. Okay,
different people through the time. But yeah, then we'll see. The question that's always looming is Sony, because for a long time there's been talk that Sony might sell the movie studio, which was Columbia Pictures in the first place. Maybe they'd sell them off. And if that happens, that would be the last big, not the last big ever, but it would be the next big, like a lot of bidders, to get them and their entire library.
Oh man, I didn't even do all the business this week because you've been you talking about so much business in the news made me realize I didn't get to business about the podcast. So you all know this. Please subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts and give us a 5-star rating if you are so inclined. Also, you can find us on Spotify and Stitcher and a whole bunch of most of the podcast places. You can become a Patreon patron for $2 a month. You can get a commercial-free version of this podcast over at patreon.com/We Enjoy Podcast. And the podcast is on Twitter at We Enjoy Podcast, and we are on Twitter at the Matt Fowler and the Eric Goldman. This is all stuff you know, but I implore you, please tell your friends, family, cherished loved ones all about this podcast. If they're people who enjoy entertainment news, capes, sorcerers, aliens. I'm just thinking of genre stuff right now. We don't always recommend genre stuff though, right? Like are good things to enjoy. Sometimes genre, sometimes a 1970s trippy Australian movie about people who disappear in a rock park in Australia.
Sure.
Okay. So let's get into. We actually have emails this week. No one wrote in on Patreon, but we actually have a handful of emails.
That's a reversal. Of
I know, and people just decide like I'm going to write on Patreon one week, email the next.
Sure.
They're all in on it together. We enjoy podcast at gmail.com if you want to write us an email. Firstly, I'm going to pare some of these down because some of these are larger questions that could take up a lot of time. Very quickly, Emmett writes in on email. Greetings, Matt and Eric. I have a bit of a random question. I'm a big fan of the first Penny Dreadful series. The series is so beautiful and melancholic, and it contains a lot of heart and well-developed characters. I was just curious to know both your thoughts on the series and the sequel series. Matt, have your opinions changed since you initially reviewed the first series? So first series is just talking about Penny Dreadful.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Let me finish the email and then we'll get into it. Eric, have you seen the show and or the sequel series? If so, what do you think of it? Apologies for such a long email. Emmett, this was a very short email compared to the other ones I've got in the docket here. Okay. I heartily always have recommended Penny Dreadful, except for the way it ended. Like, honestly, it's a great series. And I think Eric and I are both in agreement about Ava Green's performance. You know, you can look up my reviews on IGN. I gave a couple of the episodes over the years 10s, like primarily the ones that solely focused in on her performance too.
And I think that's the universally acclaimed part of that show. I think there are people who were home on the show, but would still say, what a phenomenal performance, you know?
The ending though, and did we talk about this on Channel Surfing, Eric?
Probably.
Okay. We actually probably talked about this on Channel Surfing. Emmett, you can go back and maybe find that. But
we'll avoid spoilers here.
The ending kind of shuttered Ava Green's character, and she vanished for a lot of the end game of that series, and it was also setting up a spin-off sequel series that never came to pass.
Yeah,
and both of those things hurt the end of the show.
Yeah, as Matt and I have said many times, we're not like you must satisfy us with the ending or the show is ruined for us, and neither of us feel that way about Penny Dreadful. I will say the final season is frustrating because you felt like, oh, they are very specifically setting up a potential 4th season or kind of major reboot of this show that then didn't happen. So it kind of felt like a lot of time wasted ultimately. But I would heartily recommend Penny Dreadful. It's only 3 seasons. I love the show overall. I love the vibe of the show overall. And Eva Green is like completely makes the show worth watching. Again, I think there are other great aspects of the show, but she is such a standout. And like Matt said, there's a couple episodes that are very focused on her and kind of give her, they should be her Emmy winning episodes, but she didn't win an Emmy for it. But absolutely fantastic. So yeah, I heartily recommend Penny Dreadful, even with the caveat of finding the 3rd season a bit frustrating, although there were a couple of great highlights too. Didn't see the sequel series. Matt,
I did watch the sequel series. No, I watched all of it.
Okay.
And yeah, it ended. It didn't resolve anything. I guess it wrapped up kind of the first season story, but it was so many more things going on. There were Nazis in LA. There was, Natalie Dormer's this demon who's influencing all the aspects of everything. I enjoyed it, but to the point where when it was axed, I wasn't devastated. It's a good show that I probably would have continued watching,
right.
But I'm cold and callous now to shows. There's too many shows and too many things to to wholly invest your heart into. So it was fine. I would give it a B minus. It was fun to see Nathan Lane in a show like a weird violent genre show.
That sounds like a thing that I would find fun.
Yeah, he was a LA cop, Eric.
The funny thing about Penny Dreadful not ending great is that Showtime has a reputation for not ending shows great. That was part of our channel surfing, but mostly because they go on way too long. They don't want to end their hits, and they go on way longer than they should. Dexter probably most infamously, but even Shameless. Like I think the reason I stopped watching Homeland, all these shows that go on where they longer than they should be. Penny Dreadful did not go on longer than it should. It's just that it was still focused on a possible continuation that ended up not happening,
which was also one of Dexter's problems. It went on too long, and it combined it with this.
with
issue.
wanting to do more possibly right away, so we don't want to have a ending that we can't have a really cool like final ending because we're thinking about the next thing at the same time. So.
All right, like I said, I got long emails here, so let me get to this one. Transylvania Salt Mine Mike on email writes in, "Hello, Mattitude Eric. I don't recall if you've seen the new Mortal Kombat or not, but I wanted to know what you guys thought about it. Also, what do you think about The Miz shooting his shot to play Johnny Cage?" And he included some tweets from The Miz and an episode of Up, Up, Down, Down that featured The Miz, where he is, I don't, wholeheartedly or not trying to actually play Johnny Cage in a Mortal Kombat sequel film. What do we think about that? Personally, Mike says, I fan casted him ever since he met the original Johnny Cage on Up, Up, Down, Down. That's what he actually linked to. Yeah, I'd be fine with it. Mortal Kombat to me, Eric, was just kind of like what Godzilla versus Kong was. I actually like Godzilla versus Kong more. But, coming in the sort of the final countdown to lockdowns ending and people sort of emerging into civilization and wanting to see movies. And these were sort of the big movies of this year, the first ones, and Mortal Kombat was another one from Warner Brothers. And it did what it had to do. I was entertained. I'm not a huge Mortal Kombat fan of the video game series, so I don't have I think we were discussing this idiom on a previous episode. Dog in the fight, dog in the hunt, horse in the race. I don't know. But yeah, I enjoyed it. It was a lot of cool fights. And Kano saying womp womp in the background of one scene was probably the loudest I'd laughed in months. So yeah.
That was very funny. I'm pretty similar. I enjoyed it. I had fun with it. It's funny. I've owned 3 Mortal Kombat games, but I've never played the story mode. I just like to do the fights. So it's funny that, I know there are people very invested in the mythology here. And there was a lot of like, why bring in Cole Young when you have the deep lore of all these other characters? And to me, I'm just like, I just like when they fight and if they kill each other. So I like that it was R-rated and they could do the cool finishing moves. And Kung Lao had a really amazing fatality finishing move at one point. It was silly. And it was just what I needed. It was my second movie back after Godzilla versus Kong, which I did like more. But it was. Yeah,
I like Godzilla versus Kong more too. I'm trying not to run long. I know we will, but because these emails are kind of meaty. But I wanted to say, like, if Miz gets cast as Johnny Cage, there's going to be so much cross promotion for a Mortal Kombat sequel on WWTV. But that brings me to.
And I'd also endorse Miz, although I actually feel he might have almost aged himself out of this incarnation of Mortal Kombat. But who knows?
Man, they did. I don't know if you watched WrestleMania : Backlash, Eric, but they did a Army of the Dead cross promotion match.
I keep meaning to watch it.
But Eric. For one match on this card, it wasn't at the beginning of the card, it wasn't on the kickoff show, it was in the middle of the card. There was a lumberjack match with Miz and Damian Priest, and the lumberjacks were zombies.
Yes,
and they devoured Johnny Drip to death. Anyway, it was just all of a sudden it was this alternate reality where there were just zombies unleashed. It was kind of like that House of Horrors match on the Halloween Havoc edition of NXT.
Oh, yeah. I gotta check that out. I think I should contextually because assuming that a lot of people do not watch wrestling, The Miz as a character is very Johnny Cage. So that's why people are fan casting him. His character is literally, I am a douchebag from Hollywood who's an actor because he does some acting on the side. So it's essentially is Johnny Cage's character.
I think it's one of those, and Salt Mine Mike, I don't mean to like disparage you here, as fan cast him all you'd like, but it is one of those things where people go to the person they know with already built-in Johnny Cage attitude and look, which is something that the people who are upset about a lot of the Borderlands casting are, again, it has to look exactly like them, and I have to be able to have seen them do that role already. I mean, to accept them in this role. I can't see them do anything I haven't seen them done because I can't imagine that. And they can't be older, shorter, or a different race than what was previously represented in a game and or book or movie. Yes. Okay. Curtis writes in, that's something I can see, Eric, here. I know I can't see a lot of things being outside of California, but I will be looking for Army of the Dead on a big screen sometime this next week. So cool. I could easily just watch it at home, but I don't want to do that.
No, I watched it on the big screen last week.
Okay, so Curtis writes in on email. Just wanted to email to say that I've really been enjoying the Child's Play Chucky watch along, though I initially wasn't very excited when you announced you guys were doing this movie series. I had seen Child's Play 2 and Bride of Chucky when I was a kid, but I didn't remember thinking too much about them and just kind of thinking they're silly, cheesy horror movies and this franchise would never be my cup of tea. However, watching these movies as a 34-year-old adult, most of them for the first time, I have now become a big Chucky fan. Having finished watching Cult of Chucky now, I'm beyond excited for the sci-fi Chucky television series. Can't say I'm very excited to watch the Child's Play remake, though. The Mark Hamill of it all does have me intrigued, if nothing else. Also, interestingly enough, while looking up info about Brad Dourif, I found out that he originally came from a city only 50 miles from where I live in West Virginia. There aren't too many celebrities here to claim, outside of the occasional Don Knotts, Bill Withers, Jennifer Garner, or Heath Slater wrestling. Eric and I know that. That's just for the listeners who don't know. So I thought it was cool to find out that Chucky himself is part of that illustrious list. Thanks, Curtis from West Virginia. Thank you, Curtis. I'm glad to hear. Yeah, I'm glad to hear that somebody got turned around on this.
I'm very glad to hear too, and I would hope that he would not be the only one. Only because the one thing you can't say about the Chucky movies, especially after the third one, is that they stay the same. So, the problem with a lot of the long running franchises is like, okay, I'm kind of seeing variations on the same thing over and over again. Honestly, besides the fact that none of them were good, that was one problem with RoboCop, is that it's like, there's not that many differences from what's happening. It's like,
we came to the conclusion that RoboCop's the least interesting character in these movies, and it
wasn't even him as a character. It's just like the scenarios around him are
the writers didn't know how to whether it was a movie or a TV series, didn't know what to do with him. Yeah, and so we watched a lot of people from the evil corporations and their plots and the villains like have stories, and RoboCop would vanish.
Right. Whereas the Chucky movies, they've like made a very distinct decision from the fourth one on. We're going to completely change things up, and each movie will be a very different from the last one. And so even if you don't love them all, I think it makes it interesting. So I'm glad to hear, Curtis, I believe that was your name, that you have been enjoying them.
Yes, it was Curtis. And it was very Shelley Goldman interesting.
Yes.
Ryan writes in. Ryan from New Jersey.
Let's make this a lot email.
This is it. That's it.
Okay.
I told you. Okay. Ryan writes in, have you guys checked out Invincible on Amazon Prime? Sorry, we're sort of cutting it down here, Ryan. I'm going to summarize yours. If you have, what are your thoughts? I liked it. Basically, he said that it ended super well. It was as tense and compelling to him as his favorite shows like Breaking Bad and early Game of Thrones. He loves J.K. Simmons on the shows. Ryan, I have not watched Invincible. It is on my watch list. I have Girls Five Ever, Rutherford Falls. I have a whole list of shows that I want to get to. Invincible is one of them. I have shows I watch weekly. I watch, whatever Walking Dead shows on. I watch my Mayor of Easttown. I've been watching The Nevers. But the rest of my time is taken up with actually doing like binge reviews for IGN, watching shows that tend to be canceled on Netflix after one season. So like I'll watch like Jupiter's Legacy or The Irregulars or like what did I just watch? It was a limited series, so it was definitely going to end after one season called Halston. And I'm going to watch the third season of Master of None, which I think drops on a Sunday. That's weird. Anyway.
Though it's funny, Matt, because Jupiter's Legacy was the number one show on Netflix that week it debuted, but that means nothing because I believe Irregulars was number one.
It was. It beat Falcon and Winter Soldier. That's what we talked about. Yeah. So that doesn't mean anything. They'll cancel it for reasons totally unknown to us, and they won't share.
We'll see. I have seen some of Invincible, and I quite like it. I haven't finished the season just because there's a lot of things that happen in life. No, I really like what I've seen so far. I hadn't read the comic book, but I like Kirkman's comic books in general. I was a little wary only because I'm a little like, do I need another like superheroes but dark? But I really like Invincible.
Well, that's the thing. It's like Jupiter's Legacy came on the tail of what the Watchmen sequel series, The Boys, both seasons, and now Invincible. So Jupiter's Legacy came even after those three. So
yeah. But I like, I like Invincible's approach on it. Voice cast is obviously amazing. I need to finish the season, but it's not. Yeah, I will be finishing the season because I've quite enjoyed what I've seen so far.
Okay. Ryan also just says quickly here. Also, I just wanted to thank you both for being a constant source of entertainment in my life. Sidebar, Eric, are you ready to feel like an elder, like an old?
Yes,
okay.
Do it.
Constant source of entertainment in my life for the past 12 years. I started listening to Channel Surfing back in middle school when I didn't have many friends that watched.
I lied. I wasn't ready. Stop it.
Yeah. Okay. Now you tell me when you're ready.
No, I'm okay.
Okay. When I didn't have many friends that watched as much TV as I did, listening to you talk about shows like Lost, Fringe, etc., made me feel like I was having those water cooler moments, even though I was too young to be working in an office with an actual water cooler. Even now that I'm in dental school, I think this was the guy who we wanted to ask about the Corbin Burnson dentist movie. Even now that I'm in dental school and don't have as much time for TV, I still love learning about different movie franchises and hearing you guys joke around. As long as you guys keep making content about things you enjoy, I'll keep listening. Thank you, Ryan from New Jersey. And Liv Morgan, also from New Jersey. You know what else is from New Jersey? Chucky and
Charles
Tiffany.
Lee Ray and Tiffany Valentin. Ryan, thank you so much. That was really sweet and makes us feel old, but in a good way. It's crazy.
I don't care. I have grandkids, Eric. I feel old every day. I don't care.
Oh, yeah.
I'm numb to it. Who cares?
Who cares? You're an old. It's crazy that we were podcasting 12 years ago and that we still are. But a lot of things make me go, oh, whoa, that's crazy. I was looking at HBO Max's list of movies that are coming this month, and one of them was the Nick Cannon classic Underclassmen, Matt. And I remember reviewing that as a freelancer for IGN.
Underclassmen. I don't even know that one.
It was his Jump Street, where he goes undercover in high school. He's a cop and goes undercover in high school.
Oh my goodness,
it's terrible. You could read my 3 out of 10 review on IGN. It's still there, and I read it the other day to see what I thought of Underclassmen in 2005. But yeah, doing this a long time, but I definitely appreciate that people have followed us this whole time. That is very nice to hear, and thank you so much.
Okay, let's talk Cult of Chucky. Next week, we're doing the Child's Play reboot. Eric, where can we see that?
Are we doing things to enjoy, Matt?
Oh, man. Oh, boy. Yeah, this one's...
we can skip it this week, but...
No, I'll just condense it. It. I mean, look, this movie actually popped into my head today because I believe today is the 5th anniversary. And we're recording this on a Thursday night on the 20th. So that today is the 5th anniversary of The Nice Guys, which, Shane Black movies are always sort of fun, especially with, the banter is the main event most usually. But over the years, he's gotten even better at action. You and I both really like Iron Man 3. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang was sort of his noir return to witty, catty noir that we both liked.
Robert and it was his directorial debut.
And so this was also directed by Shane Black, and it stars Ryan Gosling and Russell Crowe, and it's a fun 1970s detective mystery movie that has a fun cast. It's got Andy McDowell's daughter from The Leftovers, Margaret Qualley. It's got Keith David. It's got Matt Bomer. It's got, how do you say her name from the Spider-Man movies?
Angourie Rice. I don't know if I'm saying it right. Who plays Betty in the Spider-Man?
Yeah, I would have said Angourie or Angourie Rice. She's on Mare,
and she's great.
Easttown
And
right
Shane Black is great with kid character. He makes very fun young teen characters, and does it again in this film with her.
Yeah, she was Betty Brant, and she's on Mare of Easttown. Okay, so it's a fun, just labyrinthine, fun mystery murder series. Not series, but a movie that. We all have like 20 to 30 movies that if you, for those non-cord cutters out there who still actually channel surf, like the name of our old television podcast, and it's on a premium cable channel, I will stop and just have it on in the background. Mm-hmm. And I think this one, even more for me than Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, which I really love, I like this one more. There's always a new line I am discovering is my favorite line in this script. Like, this script has so many different stealth, hilarious lines that, like I said, every time I rewatch it, something becomes my new favorite takeaway catchphrase. So I really can't recommend this movie enough, and I enjoy it wholeheartedly. And the first time I saw it, I actually entered the movie theater 5 minutes late, so I didn't get to see the first 5 minutes until it landed on like a cable series, or on HBO later on. Did you miss the Ty Simpkins
cameo?
Yeah. I missed the whole I missed the whole porn star dying and the car crash and everything. I missed the intros to Russell Crowe's character and Ryan Gosling's characters, like their initial intros. I think it just walked in when Russell Crowe's beating him up for the first time.
It's funny.
So that's on I recommend that. That's my good thing to enjoy. It's on Hulu.
No, I love Nice Guys too. I love Kiss Kiss Bang Bang more, but that's just because that's one of my favorite movies. He's so great, Shane Black, at what he does with the comedy, the action, the banter. And he's so great at the buddy cop dynamic. I mean, he did one of the most famous ever because he wrote Lethal Weapon with Riggs and Murtaugh, and Kiss Kiss Bang Bang and the Nice Guys.
We're talking to Shane Black here. One of my favorite action movies of all time is Long Kiss Goodnight.
Long Kiss Goodnight, Last Boy Scout, so many great action movies, so many great pairings. And, Iron Man 3 is such an oddly polarizing film. You and I both love it. And, so some people criticizing it and some people loving it will note the end of Iron Man 3 turns into a buddy movie, where they very discernibly have Tony and Rhodey, be in buddy cops, not in armor when they even approach at the end, just wielding guns. But it works. He's great at it. And I wish his Predator movie had turned out better, but I guess there was a lot of problems behind the scenes. But Nice Guys is great fun.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah. Notable for buddy cop action movies or just buddy action movies. I wouldn't. The first thing I think of with the Nice Guys is not action, but it does have some action in it. So
yeah.
Like Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. Okay, so what is your good thing to enjoy, Eric?
My good thing to enjoy, and I don't know why. I probably just thought of it because I was at Disneyland, maybe, and when on the Peter Pan ride, is Peter Pan from 2003. Look, there are a shitload of Peter Pan movies. Many would say too many. Many would say, why does Hollywood think every 5 years we need to make a Peter Pan movie? And
isn't the joke that if every 5 years there isn't a new Bond, King Arthur, or Peter Pan movie, England loses rights to it?
Yeah, maybe. So there's too many Peter Pans. But this is my favorite of the Peter Pans. And I think it's great. And I feel like it's pretty underseen. I know that it has its cult following. The main selling point, I think, to people, if I was just to be why should you watch this, is that to see Jason Isaacs has Hook, who, obviously is most famous as Lucius Malfoy, though he's been in a million other things. But he plays Hook in this, and he was doing this, obviously, just at the same time he was doing the Potter films, but he's great. And a lot of people mentioned how it's his Hook is a kind of a very, rock star feel to him. He looks very Chris Cornell, the way they did the hair and makeup on him in this. And we meet him shirtless with just the stump on his arm, and then he sort of straps on the prosthetic. I really like the vibe of this movie. It makes sort of Peter Pan this kind of both magical, but also kind of melancholy. It really goes into the whole thing of if they don't want to grow up, but kind of that push pull about, what you are being pulled towards adulthood. PJ Hogan directed this movie, who I guess would be most famous for My Best Friend's Wedding. But I really it has just a really cool feel to it. It has a great score, which ironically has probably become more famous in the film. Disney, who did not make this movie, Universal did license the score from this movie and used it in a bunch of their theme park ads a few years after it came out. I was that's the music from Peter Pan, not the Disney Peter Pan. So
wasn't Olivia Williams in this? The Postman's Olivia Williams, Rushmore's Olivia Williams. In this?
Was she Mrs. Darling? I believe. Yeah,
she's on the Nevers right now, which I just brought up a few minutes ago. But yeah, she has the best line from The Postman, which is that he hands out hope like it's candy in his pocket.
He does indeed. But yeah, so I really like the feel of this movie. I was surprised. It's not like I was ever especially into the Peter Pan story. It wasn't one of my favorite Disney movies. But when this came out, I was just like, oh, wow, that's a really cool feel to it. And I really love the approach on Hook. And I just think it has a really cool vibe to it. And it's underseen. So you should check it out. Even though there's 10 million Peter Pan movies, it is currently streaming on Showtime, I believe. So if you have Showtime, you can watch it there. Otherwise, you can rent or buy it on all the major platforms.
All right. I enjoyed that movie too. Not as much as you, but I do remember. I've only seen it the one time in the theater, but I really enjoyed it. And Jason Isaacs is very good. Mm-hmm. And I assume Olivia Williams is good too, but I don't remember.
Yes.
All right.
And I really like Peter Pan was Jeremy Sumpter, who I'm trying to remember what he was most famous for besides this. I remember he was on Friday Night Lights, though his character didn't really do a lot. But him and Rachel Hurd-Wood, who play Wendy, are great as well. So yeah, check it out.
Jeremy Sumpter.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's something to think about. Cult of Chucky, Eric, the main event. So, as I've mentioned, probably every podcast we've been doing. Let's
1 second. I'm sorry. Child's Play remake. If you haven't watched Cult of Chucky yet, and you need to, but Child's Play remake for next week is actually streaming on both Prime and Hulu.
Oh, I thought you were going to give us a Jeremy Sumpter.
No. But I'm just telling you.
Like, I forgot. He's
for next week. You can
he's
watch.
Been cast as the new Indiana Jones. Okay.
Child's Play 2019 is on Prime and Hulu. If you have one or both of those.
Oh, everyone's got one of those.
Yeah.
Cult of Chucky. So I watched the entire Child's Play franchise last fall because I was doing a video script that I needed to brush up on Chucky and then also see the movies I hadn't seen, which included everything after Bride. Mm-hmm. So I remember initially really liking Curse of Chucky, and I also really liked Cult of Chucky. So I still like Cult of Chucky. Upon rewatching it only months later, I really like Cult of Chucky. I like how it plays as a traditional, much like Curse, low budget, single location, Chucky bumps off people horror slasher movie, mixed in with the culmination of the serialized aspects of the franchise for the past 30 years.
Yes,
the past 30 years, which Curse didn't quite do, because Curse, a lot of it was a mystery for like half the movie. You didn't know why Chucky was targeting this family. It was sort of a big reveal. What was going on there. This, we mostly know everything right out of the gate, except for the new spell he learned. Like that's sort of the big reveal throughout this movie. But I really liked a lot of this movie. I like that it continues Nika's story. I have a question for you, Eric. You know, the post-credit scene for this movie and the previous movie were only on the unrated versions, correct?
Yeah, I believe so.
So what do people think going to see Cult of Chucky who may have missed the end credit sequence, the post-credit sequence for Curse of Chucky? What the fuck do they think is that like Andy, he's got Chucky's like mangled head in a safe? Like, they don't know. If they missed that, what do they think?
I don't know. They just think Andy has a Chucky head. I guess they have.
And then if they miss this next one, like, well, I don't know how much we still, it's up in the air, like how much of a continuation the Chucky sci-fi series will be, even though
they're all in it. They're all in it.
That's what I mean. It's it's a legacy. It's still supposed to be a sequel in a whole new town, but everyone's in it. So so what do they think? Like with Kyle coming back. So obviously I jumped way to the very end right now, but so it's just weird that these are sort of like extra materials almost, that if you don't see this, the opening of this movie doesn't make a sense.
Yeah. It's funny. I was when I rewatched the MCU movies recently, I was noting that 90% of the time you'll be okay if you miss those post-credit scenes, as far as like they're setting up something cool, but it's not like you'll be lost the next time you see one of the next ones. And I was noting that one of the few exceptions, one of the most important ones, spoilers for Spider-Man Far From Home, is Spider-Man Far From Home, because it's like his identity being revealed is like a legit, like, obviously the next time we see him, that will have already happened. So that's like, feels like a time where, you'd kind of be screwed if you got up and walked out, versus I missed a cool tease.
I mean, like, he has to be only one of the Peter Parkers in consideration, though, right? He's not the only Peter Parker in New York City.
That's true.
Or in the United States. He didn't say Peter Parker from Queens, New York. I'm just
maybe
saying.
they just figured, like, if you're a real Chucky fan, you're going to watch the unrated version, and you're going to make sure to stay through the credits.
Yeah. Okay. I love how this movie opens with Andy. I liked it, and this is the first movie that really doesn't have. Well, I guess Seed is just an oddball in every aspect of the term, but that like the Chucky reveal isn't as cool as like just the Andy reveal.
Right.
Like the Chucky reveal is literally that he's in a safe way and it's just his head. So we don't get like I guess later on in the asylum we get it, but yeah, I just love that he's on a date. He's a weird gun nut. Like, I would have left the date, too. Those are red flags all over the place.
Well, also, she Googled him, so she knows that several times when he was a kid, a bunch of people died around him, and he said his doll did it.
Eric, everyone Googles everyone when you're doing dating apps. You try to find out as much as possible. It is unrealistic of Andy to expect that somebody just goes into a date.
No, it's not like he was
without doing their homework.
He wasn't surprised.
And women need to do that Googling. That's for their safety.
Yeah, he wasn't surprised. He just was like, I guess I have to deal with this now. I really like this movie too. I think Curse is a little better. Curse is a little tighter, but I think there's a really fun continuation. One thing I forgot to mention when we were talking about, like, I was talking about commentary and stuff, which I didn't get the chance to watch the cult commentary this week, but they did mention at the end of Curse, it's like, the thing is, Curse is mostly telling its own standalone story, and even though we use back into Charles Lee Ray at the end, it's not like it's super tied into the other ones until those final scenes where you have the Andy and Tiffany cameos. But Mancini said that he almost did that because it was the 25th anniversary. Curse was the 25th anniversary movie, so it felt like, oh, let's bring these people back as kind of like a nice thing for the longtime fans. This time, like you said, we begin with Andy. We're like right from the beginning, back in Andy. Tiffany, while, not a huge role, is in it throughout the film. So it's much more like, okay, we're going to use all of this, though Nika is our main character. So I thought that was a smart way to do it. It's like Nika is our through line from the last movie. She is still the protagonist, but Andy and Tiffany, who are very important in the mythology, which is now a full mythology going on decades, are interweaving to the point that it's exciting when Andy and Tiffany have their first conversation together on the phone, because they are such important characters who had nothing to do with each other until this film. So I thought that was a really fun thing to do. My joke is kind
of like a father and daughter who don't know that each other are in the CIA.
Right. Very similar. The other thing is, I'm like, oh, this is their Fast Five where everyone comes back. They don't all team up. They don't all get in a scene together. But this is, again, like Fast and Furious, like Saw, these series that are surprisingly like lore heavy, unlike, again, like Friday 13th and some of these other series that are very take it or leave it with how much we're going to reference the past. This series, and again, I think that's something that probably is fun for people, and hopefully fun for people watching these movies for the first time, is like, it pays off. Like, these characters keep coming back and they don't ignore their history. And so this movie is really fun how it gets to weave a lot of those elements together.
So Andy now has a cabin out in the boonies and it's snowing. I don't know what happened to his apartment, but he is, he's been having a bad luck with the dates. Chucky sort of makes reference as such. Is he a hunter? Is he a taxidermist? We don't really know what's going on in Andy's life, aside from the fact that he's got a shit ton of guns and he's pretty good at anticipating being a step ahead of Chucky.
Yeah.
His mom and Mike are probably in a relationship now. Maybe he and Kyle are or were. I don't know, that photo of them. I'm jumping to the end again where it's like they look like it looks like a couple's photo.
Which is probably because it's a real photo they probably took at a convention together.
Yeah, but also like he's also going on dates, so maybe they were a couple. But we'll see.
I don't think they were a couple. I think that's his sister to him.
They are a couple until the Chucky TV show tells me otherwise.
We all interpret it the way we want to. But also, it's like he's messed up. Like not just the fact that he's a million guns, but the fact that he's like casually burning Chucky. It's like he's getting his kicks.
He wouldn't have been burning him if the date had gone better. Like if this is his backup plan. This is plan B, is blowtorch. Okay.
We get to pick up the fact that Chucky likes to smoke some weed because he asked Sandy for a hit.
And there is like this weird, like Batman Joker aspect to it of like, we're going to just keep doing this forever.
No, yeah, and I really like that because it's like, okay, they've known each other for decades now. So yeah, they do have. There is a. They both are kind of resigned to being stuck in each other's life.
Chucky long ago gave up trying to possess him. Now he's just trying to like. Occasionally, he thinks about Andy and is like, I should try to kill him again. And like,
Right.
so
Yes.
every few years, he just tries to kill Andy again. I like that Andy framed his Kent Military Academy sweatshirt.
He did.
And that's where the safe was behind that. Okay. So fun intro to Andy here. And then also Chucky, which lends to the mystery of the movie because we start off knowing, hey, Chucky's alive and he's only a head. Right. And so when these dolls start popping up in the asylum, we know some shit's going to go down, but we don't know what or how.
Right.
And the how is just another voodoo cheat. So who gives a shit? But yeah, as long as we know that Chucky Prime, as far as we know, is back at home and Andy's safe getting tortured, we don't know what these other dolls mean or what they're going to do necessarily. And that's a fun way to play around with this ensemble, most of which who are going to die. All of which actually are going to die. Orderlies, doctors, and patients in this place. And side quest again, Eric. You would think now there's no way for her to get off. There's no way to. She is obviously going down for these murders. She was always going to go down for the murders. There was no way to say the doll did it and have a jury believe. Mm-hmm. But during that trial, which we didn't see until the very end of the last movie, when the verdict was rendered, like. The entire past of her and Charles Lee Ray being in her family and her mom being kidnapped by Charles Lee Ray and stabbing her mom in her pregnant stomach. And like, that would have all come up.
Right.
Like
right.
that's all like history, like recorded police crime history. That's not like, and he's in her home movies. Like it's, I don't know what a jury would have made of that, but
I guess I would assume that the prosecutor would argue this all fed into her delusion because again she doesn't go to jail. She goes to an asylum.
Yeah.
So it's like, they're just like, she snapped this trauma that, she learned about, physical trauma. Then she learned what happened with Charles Lee Ray and she projected it onto the doll because the doll had the history of other people, including Andy Barclay, first and foremost saying that the doll was a killer. So that's what she decided was happening because that's what got her committed. That's what I assume happened, Matt.
That sounds good. I'll buy into that. I aside from Fiona Dourif and the legacy characters here, no one's like a standout like face or name of this cast. They're all just Canadians, I assume.
Well, there are a lot of Canadian actors. I definitely recognized Zach Santiago, who plays.
I'm just saying they're not like half British like the other cast.
Right.
In the other films, are they like?
No, a lot of more Canadian actors, but I definitely recognize Zach Santiago, who's I see that he's been on Smallville and he was also on Dirk Gently with Fiona Apple. And
no, Fiona Dourif, not Fiona Apple. If Fiona Apple was on Dirk Gently, that'd be awesome.
That would have been a twist. Yes, so he was a familiar face to me. I don't know if I really recognize the guy playing the sleazy doctor or he just had one of those faces. Because I see he does he's like a Shakespearean actor. He's like mostly a theater guy. Dr. Creepy Foley.
Yeah, I didn't recognize. He seems like somebody I should recognize, but I don't.
Right. And then Gracelyn Kung, who played Claire.
She's just been in a lot of Canadian productions.
Yeah, she was on an episode.
And
12 Monkeys, Star Trek Discovery, all shows that film in Canada. Because that's where these are. And I should mention, it'll come up again, I did a set visit to this movie. The coldest set visit I've ever done in Winnipeg in February. I watched Fiona Dourif and Jennifer Tilly sit in the car together, not realizing it was the very end of the movie. And it was, I think, -20 with the wind chill, and it was midnight, and it was snowing up a storm, and I was really, really cold. But
all you brought were Hawaiian shirts and shorts and flip flops, right. And you were like, "Oh man,
Winnipeg!" Yes.
Okay. So let's dig into this movie a little bit. So she is being now transferred, and we will find out later because Dr. Creepy Dr. Foley, I think his name is, transferring her to a lesser security psychiatric hospital called Harrogate so that he can have more gross hypnosis, sexual molesto time with her. And of course, he's a foot guy. But that's a third act reveal that he's been also, sexually abusing her and her not being quite aware of that. To the point where
giving us a major, maybe I'd say the biggest yet of like the person who you want to see die. All slasher movies tend to do this, like the asshole, the bitch, the person who and sometimes it'll be a even nastier character, like in some of the Friday 13th with like the Dr. Cruz. But this guy, it's Chucky has some very funny moments with this about how creepy and awful this guy is.
He's like, I don't know if I should kill him or take notes or something along those lines. Right. So Nika's in the asylum. She meets the rogues gallery of inmates, which are like the old woman who thinks she's dead, Multiple Malcolm, who we don't know is multiple until after he fucks her in the hallway. Mm-hmm. And he's either Michael Phelps or Mark Zuckerberg or even later, in a fun sort of
Charles Lee Ray,
fake out at the end where you think he might be possessed, where he's just faking it. Charles Lee Ray, he just wants to be somebody important. And then we've got the woman Maddie who suffocated her baby, and we've got Claire who burned her house down, and we don't know if she killed anyone. But anyway, these are all the common room folk that
and Carlos the nurse who's kind to her, but doesn't want to be too kind to her.
There's Carlos, there's Angela, and then there's some other orderly nurse. Mm-hmm. Everyone gets killed, and the end. So, do we need another names? Let's see. One of my favorite things with Angela, who's the old ghost woman, is she has sort of a creepy foreshadowing type thing where it turns out it was true, where she says she talked to Chucky on the phone. And he said he was coming for her. And it turns out he actually did call and she answered the phone. I don't know how any of this worked. Like if she was he was calling the front desk and she picked up, or he called her room directly, but she did talk to him on the phone. And there's that moment where he's walking down the hall, Chucky doll, and he's got a scalpel from a drawer labeled Sharps. And she's like, "Are you real?" And he's like, "Are you crazy?" And he gets so annoyed with her.
Yes.
He gets so fucking fed up. He's like,
"Are you fucking with me?
I'm going to kill you next." After, stay right here because I'm sick to fuck of you. Yeah, he's going to, He literally says, "You know what? You're next."
And so this movie also, we should say, it's like after the last one, which went really old school with Chucky as far as like he didn't show. We didn't hear Brad Dourif's voice until almost halfway through. This time we hear Brad Dourif's voice very early on, but I still think it's more going for like the first three feeling than like the full like Chucky Family Man days, as far as it's a little riding the line, and so it's more Chucky is a full character again. But they're still trying to hold back from like going into the full campy place that Seed went, obviously.
Okay, correct me if I'm wrong. We have three Chuckies by the end of this movie, and they're all given very distinct looks.
Or including the head, but yes, three get...
Well, I mean, in the asylum. Yeah. In the asylum. Mm-hmm. And we've got short-haired Chucky that Andy sent in, and we've got the Dr. Chucky, and the Dr. Chucky actually winds up missing an arm and has crazy hair because it was buried and everything, because Dr. Chucky wound up with Maddie. But then there's the one Tiffany brings in, who sort of remains the same, and that's sort of the instigating Chucky, because she delivers a possessed Chucky already, like Chucky with Charles Lee Ray in the doll. Mm-hmm. And this is the Chucky that then possesses the doctor's Chucky. Mm-hmm. And so then you've got two Chuckies, but then both of them possess the short hair Chucky. And so then they're all possessed. And it turns out that on voodoosfordummy.com, there was a new spell. It seems very easy. It seems like anyone can do this. Andy can just start possessing people too if he just knew the three words to say. This is not a Charles Lee Ray specific spell. I don't know why Andy doesn't get after the voodoosfordummy.com and start spreading the Andy around. So, but yeah, so that's the deal. 26 years after he originally wanted to do this idea, Don Mancini finally unleashed multiple Chuckies in Cult of Chucky. It's
Right.
something he wanted to do, what, in 2 or 3?
It was 3 because it was going to be the idea of the blood in the plastic that like
Right. It would just go into different dolls.
It would have just made multiple Chuckies, but this time it was they used the voodoo instead.
And you know what? I don't know how I would have responded to multiple Chuckies only 3 movies in.
Yeah. No,
maybe you didn't need to wait 30 years for this to sort of feel right, which is,
sure.
You're lucky if you get anything that lasts that long. But it just happened to last decades. And so time to unleash the multiple Chuckies. And again, you don't just get to possess dolls, you get to possess people. That was always a Chucky thing anyway from the very first movie. So then by the end, Nika's possessed and everyone, you can spread it around. Mm-hmm. This movie, just, traditional Chucky motifs of killing people, framing someone else, freezing when people look at you, convincing yourself the doll. Once again, somebody's trying to convince everyone else that the doll is actually doing the killing. You would feel like this would become old hat, but because of the setting, because of the new characters, because of Nika, because of the multiple Chuckies, it still all works. It's still the best way to absorb Chucky. Like, it just works with Chucky.
No, it works. And also, Chucky is using the fact that he knows, Nika already has been declared insane for saying that he is alive. So now he puts in the blood, Chucky did it, because he knows it's not going to lead to them going like, oh my God, it's the doll. It'll just make it be like, oh no, Nika's snapped again. So he is like having fun with the fact that he can openly say Chucky did it and increase that and just add to the insanity of what's happening in the situation.
I know we're bouncing around more than usual with this movie, but the added layer behind the scenes of father and daughter dueling with each other, Brad Dourif doing the voice of Charles Lee Ray, Chucky, and Fiona Dourif playing Nika, but then the character of Charles Lee Ray and Nika, Charles Lee Ray wanting to have been the adopted and or surrogate father to Nika before she was born, and now seems to be like they don't share DNA, but he's really trying to get her to kill the doctor on her own.
Yeah,
like he wants to unleash the killer within her that he thinks is there, but for all intents and purposes isn't, because they're not related. It's not like father, like daughter, but he still sees her sort of like a daughter, but then in the end possesses her anyway and does the killing through her. I don't know. It's just interesting layers to play around with this franchise that I think works really well. We also got some actual specifics on the Chucky doll, the good guy doll, because he brings in, when the doctor brings in the doll and he says he's Chucky, we learned that there were 50 different names and 2% of them were Chucky.
Right,
So that's actual hard numbers. He got the doll at Hot Topic. He specifically wanted a Chucky doll. There were 50. We already know like Oscar, Tommy. I'm trying to think of the names so far we know of.
Very obviously very meta with I got him at Hot Topic because Hot Topic is a place where you can find Chucky merch these days. It did bug me to no end that is clearly not Eden Gross's voice as Chucky from the first 3 movies, that they re-recorded someone who didn't sound exactly like Eden Gross. I don't know. Obviously, Eden Gross is a grown ass man.
That's what the Hot Topic good guy dolls sounded like.
I guess so. Yeah. Are these like a retro line? Maybe.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Because you know what? The look of the doll is also a little different than Curse.
Well, they were trying very much to look like the original again.
Yeah, it kind of went back to the original, but not fully. Like it was a blend of the two. It looked a lot better than Curse, which I think we said was, I welcomed the unsettling nature of it because I think it worked for the story, made him really off-putting. But I like the return to sort of the original factory setting here. What other names could good guy dolls have? Harold, Reggie?
No, because they seem to really
Steve Milan.
Sure, it's Steve Milan. It's absolutely Shelley. My dad's name.
Keith, my dad's name. Yeah.
I was going to say about his design in this. Yeah. I remember on the set visit, they very much told us they wanted to get back to the original look, knowing some people didn't love the Curse look, which again had a narrative purpose because it turns out he's got a face on top of his face. I will say, I think it looks a lot like the original, maybe not 100%, but you have to keep in mind Kevin Yeager did the dolls on the first 4. Tony Gardner took over from 5 on. So we're having Tony Gardner do his best to replicate exactly what Kevin Yeager did. But maybe it's a little different because it's, someone else doing it.
All right. Some grisly deaths here. We've got a rehash of, not a rehash, a tip of the old doll hat to the Niagara Falls kill in Bride of Chucky, with Chucky doing the skylight kill of Claire, who was paralyzed and sort of immobile and able to scream in that electroshock room. We've got the fake suicide of Angela. Then we've got all the carnage at the end with drills, and the triple kill being the most notably, I think, gory and just gratuitous and also funny. Just the 3 Chuckies teaming up on poor Carlos.
Right now.
And the actual... We've mentioned this. I think you specifically said this even when we were talking all the way back in Child's Play 2, the funny moment where right before someone dies and they see that they're being killed by the doll and that everything
he has a monologue about it.
He brings that up specifically.
Yes.
That it's his favorite thing to do.
Yes. Is making people realize that they're about to be killed by a doll. It's a walking, talking doll.
Like, that's their last thought, is that it's all true. I'm going to be murdered by a doll. This is fucked up. And then they die. Then they can't tell anyone, and they go to their grave.
And he references specific murders from the other movies, and then he says those are all actual
actual examples.
Yes. I know he mentions the yardstick, the teacher, Beth Grant from the second one, and a couple others. You also mentioned, and what has to be intentional is, the death of Claire very much evokes how Tiffany killed the thieving couple in Bride. There's a lot of references to Bride in this movie. I love Bride, so I'm cool with it, but I thought it was funny how many direct references to Bride. There's the multiple versus mass murderer dialogue callback about, no, actually, mass murder is this, multiple murder is this. Of course, Tiffany, the recurring thing with her killing the cop, which I know that Kirst did too. So it's just so funny that I thought this movie specifically calls out Bride a lot, even though it wasn't Bride's anniversary or anything. But hey, Bride's my favorite one, so I'm cool with the references.
In much the same way, I didn't know how the foster care system intermingled with military academies, and listener was kind enough to sort of answer that. If anyone out there knows if mental hospitals come with their own cemeteries, please let me know, where patients who die within the ward have to be buried on the premises.
Maybe it's a Canadian rule. I don't know.
I mean, maybe if they don't have family, I don't know what's going on. But like,
there's a lot of creepy. I actually think that character, is it Madeline, Maddie, the mother who turns.
Well, she's the kid who's being whispered to.
Yeah, and she lots of creepy stuff with her. Obviously, she breastfeeds Chucky, and then we see her nipples bleeding because he bit so hard. She throws the Chucky doll to the grave, but then she also throws Malcolm into the grave. She's a nice little creepy through line in the movie. And then she welcomes Chucky killing her. That's like a big thing. Is like she's like waiting for it. It turns out that when he kills her.
So. Speaking of Maddie taking the place in this movie of the innocent child who's being whispered to horrible things by Chucky,
although she's not innocent, but yeah,
I know. But she has a childlike mind.
Yeah.
That we learn the cruel. I don't know how much of this will expand upon in the Chucky TV series.
Oh, Alice.
The cruel fate of Alice, who gets to appear older in a dream sequence.
I forgot that she did cameo, the same actress.
So she is there. So it's not like she's, everything about her entire fate is off screen, because we do get to see that actress in this movie. But the fact that we learn that she's dead, but then also learn that he did succeed in possessing her and did go on for years killing as her until something happened. Like, someone killed her,
it just sounds like she probably tried to kill someone who was a little too much of a strong adult, and he managed to kill her. But very dark. And the ending, I mean, it's a funny, dark moment where Tiffany is like, "Oh, it feels a little bad." And then what is Chucky, who is now inside her body, is like, "Fuck that kid." Yeah. As you mentioned, whole meta interesting aspect here with the Chucky and Nika dynamic through the entire film. But then, of course, then you have a daughter literally playing her dad, because now you get, Fiona Dorff is doing an impression of her dad as Chucky,
Yes, as Charles Lee Ray, like his walk, she already has long hair. Mm-hmm. So it's just fun to see, like, the fact that she's got, there are recognizable elements in her face, obviously, and her voice, and she can sort of mimic the laugh, and it's really fun. The meta, not just the casting meta aspect, but the plot twist meta aspect of it. Yeah. And I'm trying to think. Oh, I already spoke earlier before we started talking about Cult about the Hannibal Lecter thing. But yeah, the fun banter, again, it's fun, it's funny, but it doesn't go too far because this movie still has a nice bite to it. But like the banter between the three Chuckies, and it's like, I'm missing an arm. It's like, but look at my hair. It's like, oh fuck yeah, you get to, like.
That was right. Because it actually turns out he's being sincere when he's like, as he starts to say about like your hair, yeah, you should do it. It's like you think maybe he's being sarcastic, but no, he's like, no, you should do it.
You should do it. I mean, look, Charles Lee Ray for real was a fan of long hair, not just as Chucky. So to see it chopped off like that, and and then I forget the word that one of them uses that was sort of erudite, but then he's like, who are you, Hannibal Lecter? And he's like, I can't believe they canceled that series. And it's like, what is, like, the fact that we're also still talking about Hannibal, years after, because it's on Netflix. Eric, where's that show going to go after it leaves Netflix in a couple of weeks? Peacock? Anywhere?
Well, it was already on Prime, I believe, this whole time. Like,
people just don't talk about Prime.
Yeah, I think it's been on Prime. I don't think it left Prime. I could be wrong. But again, the Hannibal line, very funny, especially for big Hannibal fans, I guess. But it's also a meta line because who wrote for Hannibal? Do you know
who wrote for Hannibal? A lot of people.
Don Mancini was a writer on Hannibal. That's why that line's in it.
Which scripts did he write?
He wrote 2 episodes, but he worked on it for the whole series, or at least season 2.
It's funny because I don't remember a little killer doll episode of Hannibal, Eric.
And we know if one person,
that's all he can write. That's all we know. It's all he does.
He was a writer on it. He wrote Dulce, I see, number 306. He wrote along with Fuller and Steve Lightfoot, and he and Fuller wrote "And the Woman Clothed in Sun" from.
So he wrote in season 3. So he wrote both stories of season 3, because season 3 is sort of split up into 2 stories.
Yes.
Okay.
And I remember when he and Fuller, I don't remember who posted it, because again they're friends on social media, of course. He brought Chucky to the writer's office. He brought one of the Chucky dolls.
I would absolutely go out of my goddamn mind if it doesn't have to be on a show. I would just love to see Mads Mikkelsen interact with Chucky, voiced by Brad Dourif.
Yeah.
Like,
that would be amazing.
Talk about 2 completely different horror delivery systems. Like, you've got Chucky, who's like, women can't live with him, period. And like Hannibal Lecter is like, how do you think God feels when he kills his worshiper in churches? Like...
I believe they had those conversations in the writer's room. But yeah, so that Hannibal reference wasn't as random as it seemed. It was
Chucky
a meta
goes to therapy.
Yes, there you
Chucky goes to Hannibal for counseling.
I mean, at the time, Hannibal aired on NBC, even though it wasn't produced by them. So there was a whole NBC Universal connection there. Unfortunately, we didn't get this episode, but man, it would have been amazing. We missed out.
All right. Anything we've kind of run through the movie here. There's a lot of kills. The end game involves Andy trying to go to Nika's rescue. He sees about the killings on Perez Hilton. And he drives out to Harrogate in the middle of minus 20 degree Winnipeg temperatures.
Yes.
And I don't know if you can do this, but apparently if you punch the guard, you can get yourself committed.
That part. Yeah, I don't know if that I would believe that's exact. I think they might call the cops.
But it's fun because he sent a Chucky bomb. Now he didn't know what the deal fully was. He didn't know. So he packed his own Chucky. He didn't know that there were probably other Chuckies in there that also would want to kill him. But he was anticipating Chucky.
He suspected at least something was up because he saw as you said, Perez Hilton. But it's like,
but he really wanted his Chucky to come get him because he put the gun in him.
Yes. Oh yeah, for sure.
Now, there's not a huge final fight at the end of this movie. The final beats of this movie. I mean, there's Chucky versus Andy, but the real final beats is the possession of Nika, her killing the doctor, and then. The drilling of
major
head
stompings, though.
Yeah,
Nika,
big head
Chucky,
stompings and
Andy.
eye drilling, but we don't know where the Chucky TV series will pick up or what the fate of Andy is. He's alive. He's just locked up. We're assuming the police are going to come to this facility. But he's also got in his cell a Chucky doll that's actually all meat.
Right,
and blood. Are they going to think he stomped a child? Like, what are they going to think? Like,
I mean, again, he's been around the block a few times on this.
By 3, he already was telling De Silva, he's like, I know what to do here. Like, I've been through this before. So he's got to be to the cops. You Googled me, didn't you? Fucking internet.
The ending is kind of a crazy one as far as like, it's the biggest sort of Chucky wins ending. Because he and Tiffany succeed in everything. He gets a new human body, and Nika, who's been again our protagonist for 2 movies, is now is Chucky at this moment.
How is Chucky going to possess Devon Sawa?
I don't know if he's going to.
He better possess Devon. So listen, what's to stop Chucky from possessing everyone on Earth?
I mean, the title of this movie, of course, was a bit of a fake out because it's not like the title when it was announced, you might think, people that are into Chucky, but instead it's the cult of Chucky is him multiplying himself.
Also, it's interesting that I don't believe they have a hive mind. They're all separate. Like, and they all have to like actually talk to each other to figure out what's going on. Like they're not like sharing
telepathic or anything.
Exactly. Like, so when you create a new Chucky, they're off doing their own thing. Like you need to give them a plan or else they're going to like just think they're the only Chucky. So,
right.
Yeah. When they were all 3 talking, that was the whole thing. It's like, they didn't know automatically what the other one had been through already. Cult of Chucky. I liked it, Eric. It was interesting.
I liked it too. The other direct writer Chucky reference I jotted down, which is Tiffany saying a true classic never goes out of style.
That's right. Yeah.
Which she says, you once said that to me after stabbing a man 39 times. I'm like, is that how many times they stabbed John Ritter? Did they count it? Really fun movie, wild ending that is very much leaves everything in motion. Post-credit scene brings Kyle back, so another classic character. We haven't seen her since Child's Play 2 returns. She has the head. So Andy, is at least temporarily locked up, but she has.
But it's like, what is like, she comes over like a dog sitter or a plant waterer. Like it's like Chucky can't go a night without being tortured. So if Andy knows he's going out for the night, he gives Kyle a call.
Hey, Kyle, can you help me out with this? I'm very curious what the TV show's in will be because the ending of this movie is like so deep in lore.
It's a big cliffhanger. Yeah, exactly.
There's no way the show can begin just picking this up because they want people to watch it who have not watched all these movies.
I assume the show is going to play a lot like Curse of Chucky.
Me too. Yeah, there will be a Chucky doll,
and yet
will start to happen.
Eric, I'm a little nervous,
mm-hmm.
a little bit, because this is such an insane series with so much, as we've talked about, continuity and characters from decades past that have all sort of culminated in this movie. That, like, to think that people tuning in to watch Chucky on Sci-Fi and or USA have seen Cult of Chucky, which is a relatively small movie still.
Right.
It's bigger budget than Curse, but still, this is a tiny movie. People probably don't even know there were movies after Bride. Like, who knows? Like,
well, Seed was theatrical, but yeah, certainly the last 2.
But I'm just saying, like, they won't know who Nika is. They won't know that she's possessed by Chucky. They won't know that there are multiple Chuckies. They won't know. Right. So, I mean, I guess the way to start off is to bring Andy into play, because he's the one that you could say, like, oh, people have seen Child's Play.
Yes.
And then go from there and then figure out, like, how to introduce Nika. Basically, it's the NXT star we really like getting called up to the main roster where the announcers have to like over explain who this person is and what their personality is.
Yeah, yeah. I think I assume it will be that thing of slowly bringing in the lore. Like I can be a detective here. It's not like it takes that much work to figure out. The show's been filming for a few weeks. We know that because they've been tweeting about it, posting about it. But Jennifer Tilly just got to Canada and is finishing her quarantine. So it's like she's probably not in it until 2/3 of the way through the season. It's like they won't bring. Maybe Andy's there from like episode 2 or 3. It's like they can bring.
Yeah,
in
so it's gonna be Sawa and his kid or kids and this town. I'm assuming.
And I think the kid's kind of the lead. Again, I'm not sure about this, but it feels like,
and a good guy doll.
Yeah,
and then everything will sort of like just snowball from there.
Yeah, like because yes, eventually you have to deal with Nika and Chucky possessing her. But you know, this show can still, because like what you're saying, because a lot of people watching the show will not have seen these last 2 movies, especially, maybe they've only seen the first couple. They can still pull the Chucky can possess multiple people at the same time as a reveal, you know, because the characters won't know that. And a lot of the viewers won't know that. So Nika can show up and be like, I'm Nika, friendly Nika. And then she can kill someone and be like, I'm also Chucky. And that can be a da-da-da moment. It won't be to us, but it can still be to the characters and to, you know, people watching. So
what if Mads Mikkelsen joins the show as Hannibal Lecter, but Chucky possessed Hannibal Lecter?
There you go. I'm for it as well. So Mads Mikkelsen will also have to do his impression of Brad Dourif.
Oh, this is great. Okay.
Yes.
All right. That's all I got in me. I'm super tired, as I mentioned. Okay. Cult of Chucky, recommend. I appreciate everything it had to offer, from the gore to the attention to detail and continuity of lore. Like the setting. I like Fiona Dourif. They found a new way to make her restrained again with the straitjacket. Like it wasn't duct tape wrist to the thing. It was straitjacket this time. But yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, really fun movie. I was very excited to go to the set because I was getting the set of the Chuck movie, and got to talk to a lot of these people. Really, really loved how they continued things. Another, you know, like second in a row straight to video movie that was really solid. Made good use of its single, you know, mostly a single setting. It was a bit bigger than the last one, but still, you know, stayed small in scale, but used that well. I thought it was really cool. And, you know, you're tired. We'll wrap up here. So we'll talk about the remake next week. And also we'll just say, coming out of this movie, they were talking about the TV show. Mancini was talking about the TV show. And so next week we'll talk about the remake, more about its existence, why it pissed off both Mancini and the fans. Because unlike a lot of other times where it's like we got a reboot and then they decided to backtrack and then go back to the old continuity, it was always 2 versions. And
it's not like Mancini's story was stopping.
Right.
They were
Universal still had intentions of.
They were just splitting the timeline completely. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. As always, everything is possible, but nothing is real. And Shakma.
Shakma.